The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin Delano Roosevelt first spoke these words during his first inaugural speech. The country was facing its worst economic disaster, the Great Depression. First, I'll discuss the situation that the country was in that led to the speech. Second, I will tell you the impact that the speech had on the American people in the 1930s and the programs that got started back then and how they even affect us today in 2013, 70 years later. Then, yeah, the Great Depression started in the 1930s. Black Tuesday has just happened. The stock market crashed. Thousands of American people lost their jobs, their homes, their life savings. Banks were going bankrupt almost once a week. All this made the American people go in a state of fear. I do believe the speech should have been made. It gave the American people hope that the market will recover. It made them feel secure when Franklin Delano Roosevelt stated he wants to declare war on the Depression. It told them the urgency that the government felt of the situation that the country was in. I've just discussed the circumstance the country was in that led to the speech. Now I will discuss the impact that the speech made on the people in the 1930s and how the programs that were started even affect us today in 2013. After FDR made his speech, he started his action called the New Deal. It started thousands of programs that helped thousands of people with their fears like jobs, since this is what American people lost the most during the Great Depression. The programs that were made, like the Emergency Relief Situation Administration, the Civil Work Administration, the Work Progress, provided thousands with jobs. Even though these jobs were short-term and were mostly constructions to build new bridges to roads, it still gave the American people jobs, and this is what they needed the most. The programs that got started back in the 1930s are still in use even today, 70 years later. The programs like FDIC, Social Security, Homeowners Loan Corporation, Stock and Exchange Commission, programs we rely on today and are still in use almost every day. I have told you why this speech is so important. First, telling the situation that the country was in that led to the speech. Second, telling you the programs that were started back in the 1930s and how we even still use them today and how they even affect us today, 70 years later. FDR inaugural speech is one of the most famous and most important speeches in American history, in my opinion. After making the speech, Americans felt secure, and the programs that helped thousands of people in the 1930s with jobs and how they even affect us today, 70 years later, like Social Security, that we rely on even today, are still in use. Next time you hear these words, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Think why everyone quotes these words and how they changed the American people's lives in the 1930s and how even today and how they changed the country forever